Realm of Ink is a fast-paced roguelike action game that blends hack-and-slash combat with beautiful Chinese brush-style visuals, fast movements, and a story built around destiny, existence, and breaking free from a world that seems predetermined. The game clearly takes inspiration from other modern roguelikes, but it also tries to separate itself through its visual style, atmosphere, and storytelling. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about it. The story of Realm of Ink follows a warrior named Red who is hunting a powerful fox demon in a world inspired by ancient Chinese mythology. At first, it seems a fairly standard fantasy adventure built around demons, spiritual forces, and combat, but very early into the story, things start to change. Red suddenly realizes that her life is not entirely her own. She begins to understand that her suffering, her failures, and even her decisions may actually be controlled by a mysterious Arthur-like force writing the events of her world. This creates the main conflict of the story. Instead of accepting her destiny, Red decides to fight against it. After being killed, she awakens in a strange inn run by a woman named Miss Ching, who revives her through mythical fox blood and helps guide her through the world's secrets. From there, the story becomes a journey about breaking free from the cycle controlling her existence. As you continue through multiple runs, different endings, and repeated attempts, more details about the world starts to come together. The game uses a roguelike structure as part of the narrative itself, which helps the repetition feel more like meaningful ways in the context of the story. Themes of fate, rebellion, memory, and existential control play a big role throughout the experience. While the story can sometimes feel a little abstract, it does a good job of creating mystery and keeping you curious about what is really happening behind the scenes. The presentation is easily one of the strongest parts of Realm of Ink. The first thing that stands out is the visual style. The game uses a beautiful Chinese brush art aesthetic that makes everything look like a moving painting. The colors, effects, and character designs all come together to create a very distinctive look that immediately separates it from many other roguelikes on the market. It definitely reminds me of games like Okami in terms of the art direction and stylized presentation. The environments also have a lot of variety. Some areas feel peaceful and almost dreamlike, while others feel darker, more chaotic, and filled with supernatural energy. The lighting effects, particle effects, and fast combat animations help keep the game visually engaging throughout longer runs. The sound design is also very good. Dodging, attacks, dashes, and combat impacts all sound responses and powerful during gameplay. The music fits the experience extremely well too. The soundtrack blends traditional Chinese-inspired instrumentals with more fast-paced action tracks during combat, which helps build both atmosphere and intensity. On Xbox Series X, the game runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, and that performance really helps the fast-paced combat feel more responsive. Overall, the presentation is easily one of the game's biggest strengths.
My darling, what beauty our child is to behold.
The gameplay in Realm of Ink is built around fast-paced action combat, roguelike progression, and build customization. Combat feels very quick, aggressive, and movement-focused. You'll be constantly dashing around enemies, chaining combos together, and trying to balance offense with defense movement. The game features multiple weapons and each one completely changes how combat feels. Some weapons focus on speed and rapid attacks while others feel more heavier and more powerful. This helps gives the game good replay value because different builds can completely change your playstyle. Another big part of the gameplay is the Ink Gem system. Ink Gems allow you to modify your abilities with different element effects, damage types, and special modifiers. This creates a lot of build variety throughout each run. Some builds may focus more on critical damage, while others may prioritize elemental effects or defensive bonuses. The game also features fox pets that act as support companions during combat. These fox pets provide different passive abilities or active support skills that can help during tougher encounters. Like most roguelikes, each run involves exploring maps, fighting through enemy rooms, collecting upgrades, and trying to survive long enough to reach bosses. If you become unalive, you return to the end hub area where you can actually spend resources on permanent upgrades to make future runs easier. The game also features multiple difficulty levels for any gamer who wants an even greater challenge. Higher difficulties alter enemy attacks patterns, increase damage output, and improve the quality of your rewards you receive. The gameplay loop is very addictive, especially if you enjoy fast-paced action roguelikes that focus heavily on build experimentation and combat mastery. Despite its strong visual style and fun combat, Realm of Ink does have some issues that actually holds it back. The biggest problem is visual clutter during intense fights. When multiple enemies, particle effects, and attacks start filling the screen, it can sometimes become hard to read what is actually happening. There were moments where I took damage without fully understanding where the attacks even came from. Some hitboxes and attack indicators also felt unclear at times. Certain attacks warnings did not always match the actual timing of enemy attacks, which made some damage feel unfair. The English localization also feels a little bit rough. I noticed multiple grammar errors, typo issues, and subtitles that didn't always match the spoken dialogue. There were some audio mixing issues where certain voice lines sounded too quiet or cut out during gameplay. Another issue is that while the game is very fun, many of its core systems feel very familiar with other roguelikes. So even though the visual style stands out, the gameplay itself doesn't always feel completely unique.
Welcome back, dearest customer. Allow me to show you.
Realm of Ink is fast, stylish, and visually impressive roguelike that combines smooth action combat with a beautiful Chinese brush art presentation. The game combat feels responsive, the build customization systems add a lot of replay value, and the story does a good job exploring themes of destiny, existence, and free will. However, the visual clutter is unclear when it actually has the attack telegraphing, and some localization issues prevent it from reaching its full potential. Still, if you enjoy fast-paced action roguelikes with strong art direction, this is definitely a game worth checking out. But for that, I give Realm of Ink a 4 out of 5. Thank you for tuning into the best place for independent gaming journalism, and that's the Gamer section. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And also, stay locked in for more reviews, interviews, and gaming content coming soon.